Hey y'all, it's your girl Missniecytv, and I'm here to do a review for Sistas Season 6, Episode 16. The episode picks up where it left off, and Heather is telling the police officer to arrest Zach because he stole her baby. Zach is basically like, I wouldn't have to take him if you didn't leave at home with abusers that leave marks on him. And he's 3 years old, stealing Pampers. Look at the marks on his back. Zach says, I'm his father and I'll take care of him. The officer says, wait, you're his father? Zach says, yeah. The officer says, well, can I see your ID? Zach says, what if I say no? The officer says, just comply. I don't want to make this harder on anybody. Zach lets the officer run his ID. Zach is like, you're not gonna arrest me, are you? The officer is like, no, but y'all should take this to family court. So Zach gives the officer his ID. So that just leaves Heather and Zach talking. And Zach is telling Heather, you could just leave him here with me and I'll take care of him. Heather's like, I don't trust you nor the situation. Zach says, I guess we gotta do this the hard way. Heather's like, what you gonna do, bring that bee to come after me? Zach is like, don't say that. Zach says, I will take you to family court. Heather's like, I'm not scared of no court. Zach is like, why are you running over here like you love him anyway? Heather is like, you don't know what it's like to work a job and come home to take care of a son. Zach is like, you just don't know how to be a mother. And Heather's like, well, he's a little slow. Heather's like, you must have got it from your side of the family. Zach is like, look, Heather, why don't you just leave him here with me and I'll take care of him? Heather's like, no, I'm taking my baby. Heather proceeds to say, I've been actually talking to some of my friends at work, and they tell me that I should be getting more money than what I am. Zach says, so you listen to hoes now? Heather's like, don't judge us. Heather says, I'm coming after everything that's owed to me. I want all my money. Zach is like, I'll give you your money. I just want my son to be taken care of. Heather is fed up with the conversation, so she leaves with baby Michael. And the officer comes back with Zach's ID. Zach goes off on the officer. He says that, I'm telling you that she's mistreating this boy and not properly taking care of him, but you're gonna let her go. The officer leaves and Zach gets in his car. Over at Hayden's, look at who it is. It's Tamar. She finally shows up. Hayden is so geeked and excited to see her that he invites her in. He's like, actually, I'm on my way to work, but that can wait. And Hayden's like, I'm sorry for everything. Tamar's like, you don't have to be sorry. I just know that you don't want to be married to me. Hayden's like, I've never said that. What I said was, I feel like it's too soon. Tamara's like, I don't think so. Hayden's like, well, I don't want you to leave. Tamara's like, you can't have it both ways. Hayden's like, what if we try to be married for 6 months and see how it goes? Tamara's like, you sure? Hayden's like, yeah, but I need you to do something for me. I need you to sign this post-nup. And Tamara's like, you don't trust me? Hayden's like, I didn't say that. I'm just trying to find a compromise. She's like, I wasted all this time on other guys and I thought you were the one. I love you and you're my husband and you're just gonna do me like this? Hayden's like, I don't want you to leave. Tell me what you want. Tamara's like, I want you and I want all of you. Hayden's like, okay, fine. You don't have to sign it. Tamara's like, well, I don't want to ever talk about this again. Then we see Maurice and Sabrina in the car and they're on their way to Andy's office to see if Andy can help them, and Maurice doesn't believe that Andy can help. Maurice is taking in the scenery, talking about how good the trees look, because he doesn't believe that he'll be a free man much longer. Sabrina tells Maurice we gotta at least let her try. Sabrina then goes on to tell Maurice about the date that she had with Rich and how Andy met a guy, and Danny met a guy, and they all hit it off well. Maurice is not interested though. He's like, did Bio call you? Maurice is like, at least did you call him? Sabrina's like, no. And as they're talking, Sabrina receives a call from the DA, and the DA announces himself like, this is DA Burke. Sabrina puts the phone on mute, and her and Maurice are shook. She looks over to Maurice, and Maurice is like, tell him to meet you at the law firm. Sabrina tells the DA to meet her at the law firm because she's meeting with her lawyer in a few minutes. The DA says okay. She gives the DA the address and then she hangs up and she calls Andy to let her know what's happened. She tells Andy that the DA wants to meet with her. He's like, tell him to meet you here. Sabrina's like, I already did. Andy's like, what's his name? Sabrina says, DA Burke. Andy's like, oh, okay. I know him. He's actually a junior DA. Then we see Pam and Karen outside of her salon, meeting with a contractor who is there to assess the damages of the salon fire. Karen is trying to go inside the building, but Pam told her she can't because the contractor told her no. Karen is like, I need to go talk to him and I own the salon, so I need to go talk to him. Pam is like, you can't, but you can wait out here until he comes out. Pam is like, girl, you fine. And I wanted you to go home because I thought he might like you more than he liked me. Karen starts laughing. Karen's like, I ain't thinking about no man. All I'm thinking about is making sure that my baby is healthy and that the salon is reopened. Pam is like, I know Aaron's locked in and ready to take care of that baby. And Karen's like, it's not Aaron's, it's Zach. Pam is like, you sure? Karen's like, yeah, I'm 100% sure. Pam is like, wow, what did Aaron say? Karen's like, he had a lot to say, but I told him that I want to be single right now. Pam is like, wow, okay. That's when Brian the contractor comes out and he tells Karen that there's a lot of asbestos in there, that she will need to replace all of her equipment. And Karen's like, all of it? Brian's like, yeah. Karen's like, how much will it cost? Brian's like, I don't know, but I do know somebody and that they can get you an estimate and I can bring it back to you. Pam is like, you can call me if you want. Karen's like, well, you two need to go out on a date. Karen's like, I don't think my wife nor my 7 kids were like that. Pam is like, 7 kids, you can keep. Brian's like, okay, I will, and I take good care of my 7 kids too. Over at the law firm, we see Zach and Fatima talking, and Zach is stressed out. Fatima's like, babe, you're late. Zach is like, I know. The lawyer is already in another meeting. Zach is like, Heather showed up with the cops and she took him. Fatima's like, what? Zach is like, yeah. And she tried to have me arrested. Fatima's like, what did the officer say? Zach said, he said that we have to take her to family court. Fatima said, that's what we'll do then. We see Sabrina and Maurice finally show up to the law firm the same time that Zach is talking to Fatima. And Sabrina says, I'm here to see Andy. Fatima says, she's actually expecting. Sabrina goes, hi, Zach. Zach says, hi, Sabrina. And Maurice just looks at Zach. Then we see Maurice talking to Zach. And Maurice is like, you don't remember me, huh? Zach is like, no. The bank. Zach is like, oh, you don't have a uniform on. Maurice is like, you either. Maurice is like, I let you use your Velcro wallet with your library card in it at the bank. Zach is like, how you doing? You alright? Maurice is like, no, I'm very depressed. Maurice, you're doing the absolute most in a professional setting. Please have some class and decorum. And it looks like you have an ounce of none. Then we see Andy, Sabrina, and Maurice sitting in her office and they're talking. And Sabrina's like, I'm very scared. Andy's like, I talked to the DA and he's on his way. Sabrina's like, is it that bad? Andy's like, well, this is actually very uncommon, but there's nothing to worry about. Sabrina's like, that's easy for you to say. Andy's like, y'all want any coffee or tea? And this is when Maurice does the absolute most. He gets disrespectful with Andy for no reason. Then we see Zach and Fatima talking and Zach is telling Fatima the situation that went down with Heather. Fatima tells Zach, sometimes you just gotta go straight hood. Zach is like, yeah, I know. Fatima's like, I just want to take him. Zach is like, me too. Zach says, when did the tables turn? I used to be the irresponsible one, and you used to be like, no, Zach, you got a record. You can't do that. Fatima's like, yeah, I know, and she starts laughing. Then she's like, I got a plan. Zach is like, don't even think it. Fatima's like, you don't know what I'm thinking. Zach is like, I wouldn't hit a woman. Fatima's like, you were thinking what I'm thinking. Zach is like, I would do it though. And as they're talking, Hayden and Tamar walks by. And Zach is like, that's her? Fatima says, yeah. Fatima has this look on her face like she feels bad. And Zach is like, don't feel bad. He's probably ready to start some mess in 2 seconds. Fatima's like, yeah, you're right. And Zach is like, this is actually what you do all day? Why you come home so tired? Looks like you have carpal tunnel syndrome. Fatima's like, well, you haven't been to work in a while either. You be here more than you be at work. You want to fill out an application? Back over at Andy's office, Andy gets a call letting her know that the DA is ready to meet her. So she tells Sabrina and Maurice, and they head to the conference room. Once they get to the conference room, the DA meets Andy. He's like, DA Burke. Andy's like, Andy Barnes. The DA goes, I looked you up and you're actually a divorce attorney. Andy's like, I'm stepping in as a replacement until they could get some more legal counsel. I'm here to represent Maurice Webb and Sabrina Hollins. They sit down and the DA goes, I'm actually here to talk to you about your clients. Maurice interjects and he's like, Sabrina didn't do anything. I did. I did the crime. Sabrina didn't do nothing. Sabrina goes, I did the crime. He didn't do anything. Andy's like, both of y'all need to be quiet and listen to the DA. The DA tells Maurice if he did the crime, you should be in jail. The DA also tells Maurice, Since I don't believe either of you did it, I'm just here to tell you that the charges have been dropped against you two, and Q is in jail. Maurice is like, what about his deal? The DA goes, yeah, it's a deal that I didn't sign. The DA also tells Maurice and Sabrina that Q will stand trial. The DA leaves. Sabrina and Andy are celebrating. Sabrina tells Andy, we did it, I love you. And they both say I love you at the same time. And Maurice is sitting there like, this is not over. I'm suing them for what they did to me. Sabrina and Andy are like, it's over, let it go. Over at the airport, we see Tony in the parking lot, and he's talking on the phone. And he's like, yeah, she'll love it. Just call her and talk to her, she'll definitely love it. We don't know who he's talking to, but we can suspect that it's Jordan. That's when Danny rolls up, and she's like, you're here early. Tony's like, that's a nice car, it's new. Danny's like, yeah, it is new. Tells Danny that you just got off the phone with Jordan, and Jordan is scared to call Andy back. Danny's like, if he doesn't want to call her back, don't force it, because Andy's not that type of person. Tony tells Danny that Jordan thinks that Andy is classy and she is nice, but Jordan has no game, that's why he hasn't called her. Tony proceeds to say, I know we had a great time the other night. You can't tell me that wasn't fun. Danny was like, it was. Tony was like, did you like the text I sent you? I put it in code so Preston wouldn't know. Tony was like, I don't know how serious you and Preston are. Danny was like, we're serious enough. Tony was like, well, I like you and I want to shoot my shot. And I know that you like me too. Danny was like, how are you so sure that I like you? Tony was like, I just know. Tony was like, let me know when you're done with Preston. Danny hears a voice from behind her, and she looks scared for her life because the voice says, what about me? And Danny looks into his eyes, and she looks so scared. And Preston is standing. Let me know what you guys think about the episode. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your bell notifications. Bye!